Imagine you're standing in front of a massive Marriott in Times Square or a Grand Hyatt in Tokyo. Your brain naturally assumes that the company owns the land, the building, the rooms, and everything inside it. I mean, it feels logical. If your name is on something that big, you must own it, right? So when a brand name is stamped across a skyscraper, it feels like the clearest sign of ownership. But that assumption is where the illusion starts. The truth is, most major hotel brands don't actually own the buildings. That name you see on the hotel is basically rented. For instance, do you know that Marriott owns less than 1% of its 8,700 plus properties? Hilton owns less than 1% of its 7,200 plus properties, and Hyatt owns roughly 2%? The real owners are often pension funds, investment groups, real estate trusts, or massive global investors who never step foot behind the front desk. So if these companies aren't real estate giants, what are they really selling? To really understand how this works, you have to stop thinking of hotels as one big company doing everything and start seeing them like a small community where everyone has a different job. Having said that, there are three main players in the setup. And once you see how they fit together, the whole hotel business suddenly makes a lot more sense. First is the brand. This is the face of the hotel, the logo on the building like Marriott, Hilton, or Hyatt. When you book a room, you're not really buying a bed or a building. You're buying trust. You trust that the room will be clean, and the service won't surprise you in a bad way. That trust is what the brand sells. They also provide loyalty programs like Marriott Bonvoy that make you feel like staying more nights somehow brings you closer to something special. The brand sets the rules and the standards, but they don't usually own the building itself. Next is the owner. The owner is usually a big investment group, a real estate trust, or a private equity firm. These are the people who actually own the land and the building. They paid for it. They pay the property taxes, and they handle the big financial risks. If tourism drops or a recession hits, they're the ones losing sleep. Their goal is to make sure the building earns more than it costs over time. Then there's the operator, which is often the most invisible part of the whole system. This is the company that actually runs the hotel day to day. They hire the front desk staff, the cleaners, the managers, and the maintenance crew. They handle schedules, payroll, guest complaints, and everything that happens behind the scenes. A simple way to picture all this is to think about a popular restaurant inside a mall. The mall owner owns the building. A famous food brand provides the name and the menu. And a local management team runs the kitchen and hires the workers. Everyone gets paid, but for different reasons, and everyone carries a different kind of risk. That's the modern hotel ecosystem in plain terms. And it's exactly how some of the biggest hotel empires in the world quietly work today. At the heart of this whole setup is a very simple money flow that most guests never see. You may not know this, but when you check into a hotel, your payment gets sliced up in several directions before anyone is truly happy. The hotel owner, the one who actually owns the land and the building, is the person who receives all the payment. But they are also the one writing checks to the big brand every single month. First, there are the franchise fees. This is basically the rent the owner pays just to hang the brand's name on the building. For every room booked, around 4 to 7% of that money goes straight to the brand, no matter how well or poorly the hotel is doing. Then come loyalty and marketing fees. These usually fall somewhere between 2 and 5% of room revenue. This money pays for the booking apps, the big websites, the ads you see online, and those reward points programs that keep people coming back. When a guest books because they want to earn points or trust the brand, the hotel owner pays the brand for that privilege. If the brand also runs the hotel day to day, things get even more expensive. In that case, the brand collects management fees. There's usually a base fee just for running operations, and then incentive fees if the hotel makes good profits. Then there's the part owners dread the most, which is property improvement plans, often called PIPs. Every few years, the brand comes in and says the hotel must be upgraded to match the new look of the brand. New carpet, new furniture, new bathrooms, new tech, all paid for by the owner. When you add it all up, the brands have built a system where they earn steady money, very little risk, while the owners carry the heavy load. That's the real genius behind how these hotel giants get paid. So why would an owner pay these fees? To answer this question effectively, we have to shift our minds towards the owner's perspective. When a hotel owner puts a Marriott, Hilton, or Hyatt flag on their building, what they're buying is trust, visibility, and demand. Guests who collect loyalty points often refuse to stay anywhere else because they want the rewards, the perks, and the familiar experience. So the hotel instantly gets access to millions of repeat customers. This is why the owners are willing to pay ongoing fees. A flagged hotel can usually charge higher nightly rates than an unbranded one right across the street, even if the rooms are nearly identical. When guests book rooms in a flagged hotel, they know what they're getting. They know the rules, and they know someone will pick up the phone if something goes wrong. That comfort alone is worth money, and owners see it clearly when their occupancy goes up after rebranding. However, there's no overemphasizing how this strategy favors the brands more. The thing is, because these big hotel brands don't actually build the hotels themselves, they can grow at a speed that traditional real estate companies can only dream of. This is what is called the conversion strategy, and it's become the fastest lane for growth. Instead of waiting for years for new hotels to be built, brands walk into existing independent hotels and say, keep your building, keep your staff, just put our name on the door. For the owner, it's a shortcut to survival in a crowded market, and for the brand, it's cheap, fast expansion with almost no risk. Now, when people hear that big hotel brands don't actually own most of their hotels, the next question is usually, okay, what could possibly go wrong? The answer is a lot. You see, even though the setup makes brands a lot of money, it also comes with some real problems that guests and hotel owners feel every day. First, there's the issue of quality control. If the brand doesn't own the building and doesn't directly hire most of the staff, how do they make sure your coffee is hot in the morning or your sheets are actually clean? The brand sets the rules, sends out manuals, and runs inspections. But at the end of the day, the people cleaning the room and making breakfast work for the local owner, not the brand itself. That's why you can stay at 2 hotels with the same name and have 2 totally different experiences. Then there's the conflict of interest. The brand makes money by putting its name on as many hotels as possible, because more hotels mean more fees flowing in. But the owner of one hotel doesn't want another hotel with the same brand opening 2 blocks away, because that just splits the same group of guests. This tension creates constant behind-the-scenes fights between brands pushing for growth and owners trying to protect their own business. Another big worry is brand dilution. When every street seems to have a different version of the same hotel name, like Courtyard, Fairfield, Moxie, and Ritz, all under one big brand umbrella, the name can start to feel less special. In other words, the more stretched a brand becomes, the harder it is to keep a clear identity in people's minds. So, the next time you check into Hilton, just know the name is basically rented. The real owners might be investment groups, real estate trusts, or massive global investors who never step foot behind the front desk. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy simple business stories like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns.